Good day. We are the Group 5 and our topic is about academic stress level in online class. The effects of the COVID-19 pandemic have required substantial adjustments in terms of university teaching learning processes. Academic life was suddenly confined to the home and the ordinary activities of the university, with their face-to-face teaching and learning, have had to be substituted by online teaching and remote learning. With this scenario, it is reasonable to expect that university life has become even more stressful than usual for many students. Academic obstacles related to learning and teaching or academic stress affect one's emotionality toward academic tasks. There is plenty of recent evidence that achievement emotions are a significant correlate of academic well-being and of the degree of satisfaction with the academic experience at university. With this emotionality is positive, it is reasonable to infer that positive emotions exist during the process, such as enjoyment, pride, and satisfaction. Negative emotions such as boredom, anger, anxiety, or hopelessness suggest the opposite, that there are maladjustment issues while learning. Academic stress in online classes is very high in our country due to a number of factors, including the fact that not everyone in our country can meet their needs in attending academic online classes, such as having a cell phone or laptop, which not everyone can afford, and an unstable internet connection. It causes them tension, which may cause them to lose focus on their studies. If everyone is aware of the academic stress level created by online classes, they should also be aware of and educated about any preventative programs or lifestyles. Effective stress management practices will benefit you not just in your online degree program, but in your everyday life as well. First, get sufficient sleep. Second, exercise. Third, eat healthily. Fourth, make a plan. Fifth, make good use of your time. And sixth, if you require assistance, seek it. And lastly, take frequent breaks. Implementing academic stress prevention programs will benefit a large number of students, not only students but everyone suffering from academic stress, and it may be applied to their daily life. As a result, we must provide standards for productive discussions to students. Learning about academic stress level in an online class may assist a lot by preventing future difficulties and perhaps saving lives.
We generally use the term stress when we believe that everything has become too much for us, that we are overburdened, and that we are unsure whether we can cope with the pressures placed on us. Stress can be defined as something which possesses a challenge or a threat to our health. Some stresses get you going and are good for you. Without any stress, many people say our lives would be boring and pointless. Stress, on the other hand, is harmful when it impairs both our mental and physical health. These texts will concentrate on stress that is harmful to your health. Stress is defined as a sensation of emotional or bodily tension. It can be triggered by any event or thought that irritates, enrages, or makes you nervous. Your body's reaction to a challenge or demand. Also, long-term stress, whether you're having academic difficulties or having difficulty in an online class, you may be suffering from chronic stress. Chronic stress refers to any type of stress that lasts for weeks or months. Chronic stress may be so entrenched that you are unaware that you have a problem. If you don't learn to manage stress, it can lead to a variety of health problems. Stages of stress have become a part of a student's academic life, which has a negative impact on the student due to a variety of factors. Stress is the body's reaction to change. It's a very personal thing. A stressful situation for one person may not bother another. For example, one person may become tense while driving, while another finds it a source of relaxation and joy. Something that frightens some people, such as rock climbing, may be enjoyable for others. Because everyone is different, it's impossible to say that one thing is bad or stressful. Not all stress is harmful. Speaking in front of a group or watching a close football game can be stressful, but they can be also enjoyable. Life would be boring if there was no stress. The key is to properly manage stress because unhealthy reactions to it can lead to health problems in some people. Many people experience stress as they try to balance their busy lives and the demands of study while also making time for friends and family. For some people, stress has almost become a way of life. We all experience episodic stress, such as preparing for a major exam, finishing an important paper, or preparing for a major change in our lives. We all know that chronic stress can increase certain health risks, not to mention the wear and tear on relationships and general well-being.
Academic stress harms the student's academic performance that can lead students hard to concentrate and answer the task given. The pressure of high grades, too many projects, and lack of support can cause too much stress. This stress may affect the grade or academic performance of a student. Academic stress is commonly cited for examination, workloads, pressure of the tuition fees, poor time management, and especially maintaining the grades to make the parents proud. A lot of students have gone through suicidal thoughts because of mixed emotions that can be heard by everyone or even the parents themselves. This results in various psychological disorders such as depression, anxiety, emotional strain, and cognitive impairment.
The purpose of this study is to know the positive and negative of the academic stress that contributed to the student during the virtual learning. This study also seeks difference from stress, anxiety, and its levels of stress. The data will benefit society considering that it is a huge impact on well-being during online classes. Thus, schools will apply recommended approach derived from the result of being into studies and will be able to pass their grade without having issues of their mental and physical health. Schools' goals are perceived to challenge and competency that will raise stress and it will enhance their learning capability, but it can lead to the bring of the students a feeling hopelessness that according to I.N. Ohanaka 2019.
Summary of the review of related literature. The literature to be reviewed is essential in broadening the concepts of the displayed variables as the study progresses. The following literatures presented by several journals and articles exhibit relation to the academic stress level in online class.
During the outbreak of COVID-19, face-to-face classes were prohibited. As cases were growing, this was done to limit the spread of the virus that caused millions of deaths and immense economic loss. This pandemic has caused students to adjust instantly from learning physically in schools to facing tablets, phones, laptops, PCs as they learn virtually away from school. Online learning is an alternative way to study, and instead of going to classrooms, you study at home or wherever you choose via the internet. Classes, teaching materials, support, and assessments are all delivered online. Often, these are also recorded so they can be rewatched. Well, to sum it up, online learning enables the teacher and the student to set their own learning pace, and there's the added flexibility of setting a schedule that fits everyone's agenda. According to Prabhu, academic stress is anxiety and stress caused by academic achievement. Also, academic stress in students has long been studied, and stressors but with too so several assigned tasks, competitions with other students, failures, and poor relationships with other students or lecturers have been identified by researchers that is according to Fairbrother and Warren. School education is an important element of a person's life and a turning point in their academic career. Students encounter a variety of academic obstacles in today's highly competitive environment, including exam stress, apathy in attending lectures, and difficulty to understand the subject, all of which leads to academic stress. Excessive levels of academic stress can result in psychological problems like depression and anxiety, which can which in turn can affect their academic results.
The motivation behind this review was to investigate a possibility stressful schools setting factors, likely stressors, anticipated senior society, secondary teachers, encounter of educator self-adequacy, emotional stress, emotional exhaustion, commitment in instructing, and inspiration to leave the instructing profession. That's according to Salvi 2016. Financial stress is usually capable among undergraduates. It's related to unfavorable scholastic, psychological wellness, and actual well-being results. Secondly, no approved proportion of monetary pressure have been created for undergrad populations.
In terms of academic performance, according to SWAC 1987, many college students may experience high level of stress because of their academic performance. Also, students who felt control of their time reported that significantly higher evaluations, higher work and life satisfactions, less role ambiguity, less role overload, and fewer job-related and psychological anxieties. Furthermore, all students want to excel their academic studies for self-satisfactions and making their parents proud. But in the end, they get lower grade than they expected. They tend to get distressed, which affecting their motivations and cognitive abilities. Concerns about academic stress are one of the trigger parts of the students, while stemming parental pressure, maintaining their a certain grade, and scholarship requirements.
Coping mechanism measures the kind of way of dealing with stress an individual shows. That's according to Algorani and Vikas 2021. Also, coping is characterized as the musings and practices assembled to oversee inside and outside upsetting situations. At the point when people are exposed to a stressor, the changing methods of managing it are named adapting styles, which are a bunch of moderately stable qualities that decide the singular's conduct considering pressure.
Active coping. According to Lazarus and Folkman 1984, coping refers to people's deliberate, goal-directed effort to reduce the physical, psychological, or social harm caused by an event or situation. In general, active coping refers to the use of psychological or behavioral coping efforts that are distinguished by an attempt to deal with a problem situation using one's own resources. That's according to Zidnir and Endler 1996. Next is the suppression in competing activities. People can sometimes concentrate or study at will. They can sometimes eliminate bothersome worries from their knowledge and skills. They can sometimes relax, sometimes become aroused, sometimes improve their mood. They may even appear to reduce their thoughts of food during a diet or of cigarettes while attempting to quit smoking. And bereaved people may conclude that their eventual recovery was the result of putting the loss out of their minds. People can exercise some mental control in a limited number of everyday situations. Restrained coping. Distraction, denial, and wishful thinking are examples of evasive strategies, which are cognitive and behavioral mechanisms used to avoid stressful situations. Based on this classification, there is widespread agreement that approach strategies are associated with positive academic, physical, and psychological adjustment. That's according to Clark, 2006.
Seeking instrumental and social supports. Social supports relates to the perceptions or experience of being loved and cared for, esteemed, and valued and part of a social network of assistance and commitments. That's according to Williams 1991. Emotional and instrumental supports from a spouse, relatives, friends, and communities are one of the examples of social supports. In the past, research shown that social supports benefit to the people. It reduces stress of people such as it reduces psychological distress, prevents pathogenic sickness, and improves the survival rate of the person. Social lives can help reduce the stress, anxiety, and help cope with the pressures of school works. Planning. We believe that planning gives an individual in an organization a sense of direction and motivates them to complete an assignment on time. Plan for how you want to proceed. It is critically for an individual to set goals and objectives for himself and work hard to achieve them. Detailed planning suggests steps to achieve your workplace goals within a specific time frame. Planning is one of the coping mechanisms of academic stress. They manage your priorities as well as your own time. It exercises to increase your productivity, effectiveness, efficiency, as well as effective scheduling of your time. Goal settings, prioritizing and choosing what to do and what not to do. This makes students to motivate themselves to work towards a goal. Seeking emotional social support. It is the warmth and nurturing provided by social support sources. This type of social support is also known as instrumental support. It encompasses the concrete, direct ways in which people help others. The concept of social support is defined as interaction and resources provided by individuals to assist others in dealing with problems. That's according to Williams and Feller-Fagan in 2005. Social support is a coping strategy in and of itself. However, the interaction that are encountered while coping with mental illness will be the focus of the research study.
Positive reinterpretation. It is the process of recognizing a stressful situation and viewing it in a more positive light. In other words, finding something good in it. As a result, the meaning of an event is reinterpreted so that positive emotion or well-being can be experienced. By evaluating to recognize something positive in a negative circumstance. To put in other way, discovering something good from something terrible. As a result, the meaning of event is changed to allow for pleasant emotion or well-being. It is an emotion-focused coping strategy that prioritizes coping with the emotion associated with the stressor over coping with the stressor itself. Acceptance. We believe that it is indeed a useful stress relieving tool because it puts you in control of what happens. Instead of feeling ruled by stress, acceptance gives you complete control over your reaction to stressors. Acceptance is defined as the act or condition of realizing and recognizing one's own talents and limits. It is critical to understand that acceptance is not a state of passivity, but rather a state of perception. Acceptance can help to maintain an individual's psychological well-being and ability to act in the face of unchangeable negative events.
Denial. Denial can involve either refusing to acknowledge reality or denying the consequences of that reality. When you are in denial, it usually means you are struggling to accept something that appears to be overwhelming or stressful. Turning to religion. Religion and spirituality can improve mental health by promoting positive religious coping, community and support, and positive beliefs. Religion and spirituality can also be detrimental to mental health due to negative religious coping, misunderstanding and miscommunication, and negative beliefs, according to research. Religion and spirituality have the power to improve or harm mental health. It is possible that assessing patients during an ongoing course of treatment does not provide the best opportunity to test mobilization effects because one's religious coping strategies are activated in response to stressor.
Objectives. Our team articulates entitled Kaya Pa Ba? The academic stress level in online class. Through video presentation to provide a platform for a seminar of the ways of managing and identifying ourselves on stress in our surroundings. Also, the purpose of this research was to look at stress among students at various professional institutions and how it relates to academic, social, and health-related factors. Specifically, the video montage aims to, number 1, provide basic stress information and its levels or stages. So it means that to know if you are experiencing stress, you must be knowledgeable or either experience what stress is about or its stages. Number 2, describe the positive and negative effects of stress. In this, broad information is stated regarding the negative and positive effects of stress that could possibly affect the student's academics. Number 3, determine what steps could be taken to minimize stress. In this, some steps will be taken to prevent the invasion of stress in our mind, body, and soul that could lead to complications in the future. Number 4, discover ways to identify persons who are stressed. In this part, there are ways to be taught to identify a person who has stress to immediately help the person and would not lead to a bad ending. And lastly, is to figure out what's causing the person's stress. In this part of the objective, our team will teach you on how to figure out what's causing the stress so that you can treat it immediately. It's still better to consult an expert and not self-diagnose anyone about your illness.